So if she have on the headphone, you couldn't hear.
What?
You now know.
No, you talk. No, not. Just.
나를 데리러 꼭 온다고 했었죠 마마 자란 키만큼 점점 또 희미해지던 yeah So miss you mama who you are But 이해하죠 그것이 인생인 것을 선택이란 건 없었을 거라
Snapshot, a portrait of Korean adoptees, attempts to capture the phenomenon of international Korean adoption and the experiences of transracial Korean adoptees.
What?
You now know.
No, you talk. No, not. Just.
약속했죠 나를 데리러 꼭 온다고 했었죠 마마 자란 키만큼 점점 또 희미해지던 yeah So miss you mama who you are But 이해하죠 그것이 인생인 것을 선택이란 건 없었을 거라 믿어요 버려지는 아픔보다 버리는 마음이 더한 걸 yeah. 이해해 Kiss the kiss I love you mama Kiss the kiss 나의 마마 어디서 무얼 하든 happiness 행복하게 너 바로 잘 당신 위해 항상 기도해요 걱정 마요 Don't be cry 원망해도 당신은 언제까지 Mama love you so Mama love you so 가끔씩 기억이
Life spans the history of modern Korean adoption, and he's also led a really fascinating life, which is why he was chosen not only for the timeline, but to receive the AKA inaugural Role Model Award for his humanitarian work in North Korea, along with usual illustrations, including quotes from Tom
선택이란 건 없었을 거야 그렇죠 버려지는 아픔보다 버리는 마음이 더한 걸 yeah. 알아요 Kiss the kiss I love you mama Kiss the kiss 나의 마마 어디서 무얼 하든 happiness 행복하길 너 apologize 당신 위해 항상 기도해요 걱정 마요 Don't be cry 원망해도 당신은 언제까지 Mama I love you 누구나 혼자 가져 live alone 세상은 나의 편은 아니란 걸 난 이젠 알아 훌쩍 커버린 키만큼 마음도 자랐죠 강하게 살 거예요 지금껏 왔듯이 그렇게 당신을 그리며 Kiss the kiss I love you mama Kiss the kiss 나의 마마 어디서 무얼 하든 happiness 행복하길 너 바로 잘 당신 위해 항상 기도해요 걱정 마요 Don't be cry
Jill has stated that the purpose of her art is to convey issues of myself, abandonment, adoption, and cultural identity. My goal is not to be cool or neat or trendy. My work is to be a reflection of me, who I am, and what I've gone through. Artwork by 21 artists, 19 of which are Korean adoptees themselves. Here is Untitled Number 4 by Jill Kyung Mcclain. This piece, entitled Picture Book, is also by Jill Kyung Mcclain. She stated, quote, "As my job is to communicate pieces of stories, it is very interesting to mix the cultures of Denmark, America, and Korea together in a series of photos." This series contains 4 pieces of color pictures, 30 by 40 centimeters. It is a blue documentary surrealistic universe where I put things into a mysterious scenery with Asian people. By Kate Herzeiser, aka Park Kum-young, an adoptee who grew up in the United States. Quote, "Due to my intense interest to live, work, and contribute to Korea, my work in progress, the Alien Awareness Project, seeks to expose the reality of the repatriation of overseas Koreans, impress on the public the attraction and determination a large number of Korean exiles and their descendants have to return to their ethnic country, and appeal to the Korean government for a special visa status for Kyopos and adoptees. Through art and action, my group, Kimberly Park Productions, has initiated demonstrations, performances, and other activist events." The art is this specially commissioned piece by Susan Sponsler. She did this piece just for the Snapshot exhibit and enlisted the participation of other adoptees from around the country and world. Susan Sponsler is an accomplished adoptee artist living in Texas. And quote, "Family photographs document the love and attention I have received throughout my life. These images of a loving home environment are juxtaposed with images showing my conflicting feelings in perceived societal pressures to reconnect ties to the country of my birth and to my birth mother, and the frustration of being assumed a recent immigrant based on my ethnic heritage." This pair of untitled black and white photos is by Susan Sponsler, the commissioned artist who did the quilt. This triptych of color photos is entitled Mother, Daughter, Father, and it's also by Susan Sponsler. This final contribution by Susan Sponsler is entitled In Search of American Eyes. This untitled piece is by Andrew Mahle. Andrew was adopted and grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He interrogated his personal and political past and present in a variety of forms, including drawing, sculpture, set design, and poetry. Unable, or perhaps in order to reconcile his past and present, in 1994 he withdrew from family, society, and friends. He died of cancer in 1997. This piece, an acrylic on rice paper, is entitled In the Corner of My Father's Room and is by mihee-nathalie, aka Choe, an adoptee who grew up in Belgium and who is currently living in South Korea. This is a self-portrait by mihee-nathalie. The series of color photos is by J. Maya Weimer, and it is entitled Oma Ova, Year of the Rooster. This untitled puzzle, also by J. Maya Weimer, is multifaceted. You can only see one view right now, but maybe we can see another view in the photo above. Maya has stated that, quote, my work explores the complex fate of being a member of an ethnic minority, a female, and a transracial adoptee. Like many Korean adoptees, my experience is that of the outsider, even within the Asian American and Korean communities. This piece is entitled Secret Lives, Shared Lives, and is a representation of a performance that Leah Sieck did in Seoul, Korea in 1998. It is, quote, a daughter's mourning ritual. In the absence of the birth mother, the daughter imagines that her mother's body becomes the sky, earth, and water of her motherland, Korea. This is a series of 4 photographs by Lisa Jong-Soon Goodlin, an adoptee living in New York. On the left was untitled, at top, sand and stones, at the bottom, bones, and then on the right, another untitled. Lisa says that, quote, as a Korean-born adoptee who came to the U.S. as an infant, I grew up with no connection to the people and culture of Korea. It has been through my artwork that I have regained a relationship with my ethnic and racial heritage. My photographs share with traditional Korean landscape painting an interest in the natural world expressed through simple composition. This piece is entitled One Person, Two Lives and was done by Corinne Zedina, also known as Caro Lee, an adoptee who grew up in Switzerland. This piece is by Meaghan Dunn, an illustrator, an adoptee who grew up in Pennsylvania. It is a comic that illustrates a fictional letter from a Korean birth mother to her daughter after giving her up for adoption. The final participant in the Adoptee Artist Showcase is Janne Peterson, an adoptee who was raised in Denmark. Janne is an artist, painter, writer who also loves to create homepages. More interactive. Thresholds are defined as a place or point of entrance or a beginning, an outset. These are apt metaphors for the various defining moments or passages of life. I'm sorry, we have to do that one over. These are apt metaphors for the various defining moments or passages of life experiences that are shared by many Korean adoptees. Based on oral histories of 5 Korean adoptees with diverse backgrounds, modified to protect the privacy of the subjects involved, Thresholds offers an intimate journey through 5 key stages of an adoptee's life. At this point, visitors were invited to select one of 5 identities. Each is color-coded. As they proceed through the exhibit, they could pick up a matching colored piece of paper at each of the 5 stations and discover the development of their adopted identity. There were 5 threshold stations positioned throughout the exhibit. The first one was called Beginnings. The second one was Voyage. The third was Coming of Age. The fourth was Reflections. And the final station was called Today. This series of photographs, The Search for an Identity, the AKAs I've Met, is by Chung, a professional photographer who is also a Korean immigrant. Jean hopes that, quote, her work will help those outside the Korean community to better understand it, unquote. A film and video component of Snapshot, which includes a compilation of film and video by or about Korean adoptees available for screening at the museum. Participating pieces were made by Meaghan, Jennifer, Christine, Youngie, Arndt, SoYun, Kimsu, Theiler, Tammy, and Kimberly, SaRee tones. In addition, Snapshot is holding an afternoon of film and video screenings with adoptee filmmakers, and participating artists include
나를 데리러 꼭 온다고 했었죠 마마 사랑키만큼 점점 또 희미해지던 yeah So miss you mama who you are But 이해하죠 그것이 인생인 것을 선택이란 건 없었을 거라 믿어요 버려지는 아픔보다 버리는 마음이 더한 걸 yeah 이해해 Kiss the kiss 나의 맘아 어디서 무엇하든 happiness 행복하게 너 바로 잘 당신 위해 항상 기도해요 걱정 마요 Don't be cry 원망해도 당신은 언제까지 Mama love you so Mama love you so 늘 가끔씩 기억이 나고는 해 늘 울고 있던 마마 좁은 방 안에 family cried 항상 시끄러웠지 내 이름 수지 다들 그렇게 부르지 나와는 다른 컬러 yeah lovely blue eyes 이젠 그게 행복해 선택이란 건 없었을 거야 그렇죠 버려지는 아픔보다 버리는 마음이 더한 걸 yeah 알아요 Kiss the kiss I love you mama Kiss the kiss 나의 맘아 어디서 무엇하든 happiness 행복하게 너 바로 잘 당신 위해 항상 기도해요 Don't be cry 원망해도 당신은 언제까지 Mama I love you 누구나 혼자 가져 live alone 세상은 나의 편은 아니란 걸 난 이젠 알아 훌쩍 커버린 키만